Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. I hope you enjoy this, and I also hope you like and subscribe. I have added music to my videos just to liven it up a bit. If you don't like it, just say. Anyway, I hope you enjoy. So, to start off this, I'm going to start him as a kid again, I know, for like the 15th, umpteenth time. Anyway, so, to start with, he's a kid. Bakugo has just unlocked his quirk. He's like, oh my god, I'm so powerful. It's like, duh, 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 duh. You're the members of Bakugo Patrol. You know that song where they were all walking on the bridge? Then Bakugo actually falls off. This is when Luffy's hero instincts kick in. And he just reaches out and he's like, I'm not going to be able to grab him. That's when his arm stretches out. That's right, it's rubber. He grabs Bakugo and he flings it back. This doesn't hurt him at all, but he realizes he saved Bakugo. Of course, this was flinged back quite lethally, so Deku actually grabs Bakugo and they both end up falling into the water, which is pretty problematic, but you know, there's nothing you can do to help that. But they fall on Deku's side, and Deku isn't hurt due to his newfound quirk, or should I say Midoriya right now. Anyway, so he gets home and he gets his quirk tested. In the testing realm, the testing realm, that was not the smartest decision. In the testing area, by the way, I don't know if I remembered to tell you to like and subscribe. You help my channel a lot. I've hit like 218 subscribers, and that's buzzing. I'm actually going to check that now because I'm actually really kind of chuffed about it. Like, that's a lot of people watching me, which, no pressure. Yeah, it's 219 subscribers. That's almost 220. Like, it's absolutely buzzing. Hopefully, it'll be even more by the time this video goes out. So, if you enjoyed, like and subscribe. Anyway, so they go to the testing area, and what they do is they end up stretching Deku. This is, of course, with consent of the mother and the son not saying it's hurting. They managed to stretch him quite far, actually. They stretch him, like, well, as far as they can without, the pressure on the machine and as far as a machine goes, because they have, like, certain quirk testing things, and then they basically just realised that his skin's made of rubber. So, what are the benefits for this? He isn't affected by lightning, which is pretty like unique in it. It don't really affect much of this story, but you know who Luffy is. If not, I guess I'll explain his quirk right now, or all you need to know. And basically, he has rubber skin and stuff. I'm guessing he also has rubber bones because he can stretch his arms and they fling back because it's elastic. And other stuff you'll find out later on. And he also has this hidden thing called Haki, which I'm actually gonna put into here since I'm trying to make him OP as ever. Anyway, so he then actually now believes he can be a hero, and the story goes around about how he saved Bakugo and stuff. And anyway, there's a mini time skip, quote unquote, but Deku's been training through this, so imagine him pretty buff, and he has a somewhat understanding of his quirk. He's been practicing in his backyard garden, which is low-key breaking the law, but his quirk's not that dangerous, so no one really cares. What he's been doing is practicing his control over his quirk and the overall output of power. This overall output of power will be for things like, well, seeing how far he can fling back, and I'm just going to check how loud the music is, because it's saying it's louder than me, which isn't a good thing. I've been lied to. Anyway, let's hope I'm not that quiet. Anyway, so if you're wondering, I'm messed around with my mic a bit. I'm basically kissing it at this point, which is really awkward for me to talk. If I mess up in a bit the ends of the sentences, at least you know why now. Anyway, getting more to the point. So he's been practicing his control over his quirk, and he's been thinking of special moves he could do. You know, all the usual stuff. Anyway, so Sorry, I'm just checking whether I broke my mic or not. I need to get a new lead for it. If anyone could help me out with that, shout me in the comments. Like, just point me in the general direction, then I can buy one. It's for blue snowball bike. If anyone can help me there, thank you. You're amazing. Anyway, back on point. So Luffy's there, like, Deku with Luffy's powers, which is a Gumma Gumma no. He's there, and then he figures out, well, if I spring back my fist and stretch it backwards, I can also punch forwards. And then he also figures out he could do that with 2 arms to get an extra effect, but it does leave him open to attack, which is pretty dangerous. He also realizes that he's not just elastic in the skin, it also goes within his veins and everything like that. And that's when some ideas pop up. I'm not going to spoil them yet, just in case you don't know. If you do, well, kind of giving it away. But anyway, so here it's the end of UA, and it's the end of normal school, like middle school, I think it is. Everyone's like, Izuku's got a mediocre quirk. Anyway, he has a mediocre quirk. You wouldn't call it like fantastic, but you wouldn't call it bad as well, because it could definitely put up a fight. But anyway, so everyone's like, yeah, you want to go to UA? You know that guy that's stretching his arms? Well, that's basically Deku as well. But, like, there's that guy that stretches his eyes. That's also Deku. And that's when Baku goes, well, you damn B-words. I don't know whether to swear, so put in the comments swearing yes or no. If you don't want me to swear, I won't. But if you do, it's free real estate. Trying to grow my channel here, so whatever's the most popular opinion, isn't it? By the way, on the topics of growing my channel, I'm now begging, like and subscribe. Anyway, back on track. Also, this is going to be a short video today. This is kind of rushing due to school, but hopefully you enjoy. Anyway, so they're like, damn bastards, and I just swore dinner. I'm not doing well with this no swearing thing, am I? Anyway, he's like, you damn B-word, you need to go. I'm gonna be the only one to go to U8, and I'm gonna graduate. None of you guys are gonna get there, you sidekicks. This is when, believe it or not, he squares up to Deku. This is because instead of seeing him as the weakest, he sees him as kind of the hero of the class, which he doesn't like because that's stepping on his toes. This is because now he's not quirkless. When he sees a kid getting picked on, he actually goes up and helps him. It usually ends up in him getting beat up, but he's been honing up his quirk over the years. But he still gets told to swan dive off a building. What could rubber even do? Guns aren't even a thing in this universe anymore. You're basically useless. You could never become the number 1. Of course, Deku kind of believes him, but then he's like, no, I can use my quirk to engineer around it. Anyway, this is when he bumps into the slime villain. The slime villain sees him as a good host, but also as a kind of weak one. And that's when he tries out a new tactic. And that is basically, he runs up to him and he goes, Gumma no, Gatling. He goes, Gatling gun, and he throws his fists at the slime monster a bunch of times. This actually starts separating him a bit, but of course, it's not quite, it's like, mind blank. But you gotta think it's not quite that powerful yet. A's just started off. B, Gatling gun against the slime monster. His, like, all the things just get absorbed. Anyway, All Might sees this and he's like, oh, pretty nice. Anyway, so, what he does instead is stretch his limbs around the building, so when the slime monster grapples onto him, he spins, he twists up his arm and untwists it, which sprays the trying to grapple on monster off him, but also makes him really dizzy. But then All Might steps in and saves him, and he's actually like, wow, that dude used his quirk pretty smartly. Anyway, so Deku then walks off, but not after grabbing onto All Might, which creates a funny spring effect because he gets left behind his rubber with the amount of pressure All Might's doing. Then he's like, wow, his legs are dangling off, how weird. But this time he still tries and shakes him off the entire time because he knows he's virtually invincible, which is true. Fall damage is not a problem for him because of his spring-like limbs, but either that's a quirk already, isn't it? But either way, so he'll just bounce like rubber basically, which is pretty good. But still, All Might doesn't fully know that, so when he realizes that he's trying to chuck him off a skyscraper height, he realizes, stops, and that's when they have the conversation. Instead of saying without a quirk, he's going with such a weak quirk, and that's when All Might goes, your quirk isn't weak, you're smart with it, but I still don't think it's enough to be a hero. Maybe one day, kid. For then, there's always a police force, and then this completely demoralizes him because he was putting on full effort. So, that is when Deku actually... Oh, what was I gonna do with this? That's when Deku sees Bakugo's in trouble, and that's when he's walking home, sees Bakugo gets into trouble, and he's like, come on, hog. Yeah, cannon, which actually pushes the slime monster off Bakugo enough for him to grab Bakugo and use stretch and then propel Bakugo out of there, if that makes sense. So he runs in, grabs Bakugo and starts running away. Bakugo at first isn't pulled, but then the tension keeps on building up until eventually the slime monster loses grip of Bakugo, actually saving him, which surprises all the heroes around here. But the propelling force actually makes Bakugo knock into Deku, knocking them both out, which is quite violent, but it still saves him. And that's when All Might is then like, oh no, there's no one there to help. Deku ran in there to save a friend, so he jumps in front and then he punches. They both go home. All Might offers Deku one for all, and he says no. There's a reason why. That's time to explain. He's like, I will accept your power, but not yet. There's a reason why, and that's today. It realised that my power can be used for something greater. I don't want to learn its full functionalities before taking on another. And then almost like, yes, I could never expect less from you, Midoriya. You're so, how do I say this, mature, but I do want to teach you something then. Let me teach you. I'll be your disciple. I'll help you train, help you discover your quirk at the same time you discover it, and maybe with two minds on the case we can get there sooner, and I can give you my power, and then you can fully become the symbol of peace. That is when comedically Midoriya buffs up like All Might and goes, haha, I am here, as a joke. And then that sudden urge of confidence goes and he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know what got into me. It was the urge and like all the stuff you got from fighting. Adrenaline, sorry, I was taking a drink. So, we then skip to the 10 months of training. This is more discovering Luffy's power. All Might then thinks of a special move, special move from what he saw about bulking up. This special move is what they call Gear 3. That's because there's an experimental Gear 2. If you know, you know. It depends whether you've seen what I'm basing this off, the show I'm basing it off. By the way, it's One Piece, give it a watch. But before then, I want you to like and subscribe and watch this video all the way through, because watch time and retention and all that. Anyway, so he realizes his I'm sorry, I just heard somebody. Anyway, he realizes something because when All Might buffed up, he realized what Deku could do with his hand. So it actually asked him to bite into his hand and breathe into it. This made his hand ginormous, which is good because it means more surface area and it also does more impact. Anyway, sorry to end it off early here, but I'm gonna have to go because I just realised the time. It is 1 o'clock and I have school tomorrow. I'm pretty sure you just heard an echo, then I'll have to apologise for that. But anyway, what I was saying is, remember to like and subscribe. You've been a fantastic audience. Goodbye.